This is it. Right there. That's it. That's how it works. That's how we do the thing. We realize that most of our futzing around and most of the things that we're all anxious about, most of the things that we feel inadequate in, it's all BS. Brainbuffet and Schwartz. I intentionally, I had other ones of these letters around. I had like an ampersand because I was like, yeah, it's about the and, but when I got more minimalist and I sort of started messing around, I started throwing things away, but I kept these two because I just think it's hilarious that it says BS in my set. Because I'm convinced that that's what it's all about. It's all about recognizing how much of what we worry about, what we focus on, is just BS. And, as a teacher, that's been my thing, right? As a teacher, that was always how it worked for me. This is the only thing I'm good at. The camera's on, and the assumption that people are staring at me, just on my mic is real low, but, the assumption that somebody's listening, then I think best. And I think out loud. And I think what made me an effective teacher in the classroom was that I didn't prepare too often. And what happened then was that every time I got in front of the kids, they would watch a capable human, figure something out and mess up. And I demonstrate, not by setting it up, but I demonstrate because I literally just messed up and didn't know what I was doing. I mess up and I recover from it. And then kids start to see, oh, when you mess up, it's really no big deal. The problem is that so often we make it seem like it's all a really big deal. And that's why our classes are just not as groovy as it should be. Oh, I'm chewing gum. Does that sound really gross? Too bad. What we need to realize is we're right in the middle of all of our own BS. It's hard to not look at my the video here, but the camera. But this is the point. We're right in the middle of our own BS. And, for any of you that use my curriculum or you've heard my workshops, you know that I always make these funny observations, these admittedly juvenile, just kind of pokes at the assumptions that we all make, at the constraints that we feel like we have to live under. And I'm here to call BS on all of that. That's business stupidity, right? Let me put this back real quick. I think that this whole coronavirus thing, like I get that teachers are anxious. I get that it's like, I get feeling like you don't know what the hell you are doing. And let me encourage you that is the best place that you can be. Because when you think you're in control, then you're not looking for what's slipping. You're so busy being in control that you're not paying attention to all of the carnage you're leaving behind you. When you don't think you're in control, you just kind of look around. You're like, guys, what do we do? Hey, what do you guys think about doing this thing over here? Hey, class, students, what do you think about doing this over here? Does that look? Oh, yeah. Hey, Jim just said we should pay attention to that thing. Yeah, Jim, actually, I don't get it. Can you go take care of that and I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Can anyone else help me figure this out? And you partner with your kids. You partner with with the other teachers in your district. I can tell you that I have some heroes and maybe that's what this podcast will be really quick. Let me tell you about some of my heroes. And some of my favorite stories. People hire us to come out and visit live. And frankly, I don't enjoy doing live Photoshop classes. I love doing the live stuff because of these kind of conversations. So let me tell you about a couple people that were heroes for me in education, right? In my education career, what brought me to Brain Buffet, which is probably why anybody that's watching is watching, because there's a Brain Buffet connection. And I just threw this up at the last second. I need to put myself under pressure in order to get things done. It's the way that I work. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I lack confidence. But when I'm just forced into the action and it's just like, hey, decisions got to be made, then I can follow my guts, I can follow my intuition, and it always works out. And I believe that that works for you too. I am absolutely convinced that if you follow your gut, it will work out every single time. So let me tell you about a couple people that in my education life that helped me learn to follow my gut and helped me learn to question all of my assumptions. Um, I think one of the first ones, one of the first ones was definitely this guy, Jim Kale. And he was the district dude in Palm Beach, or I'm sorry, in Broward County Schools. And I think he's in facilities or something now. But he really taught me about like the problem solving process and being comfortable with not knowing and learning to just sort of not rest in what you know, but to sort of challenge yourself a little bit. He helped me figure a lot of that out, which was a lesson that I really, really needed. He's actually the guy ultimately that is inspired the name Brain Buffet, because he's the one that made the story up, or the allegory, whatever. The whole concept of school is like brain bulimia, where we shove stuff down kids' throats, we have them barf it up at a test on Friday, and we never make them digest anything. It's like, just hold it down until Friday and then purge. And we've been calling that education. That is not education. That is mindless repetition. Here's something that's already been done. Here's how someone else did it. Be a copycat. And the more you are an accurate copycat, an accurate plagiarizer of thought and process and idea, the more accurate you are at that, the higher your score. Don't think, just do. And, Jim said that school's like brain bulimia. And I said, well, then I want to make a brain buffet. I want to make it where kids come into the class and everything is laid out and they get to eat whatever they want. So thank you, Jim Kale. You really helped a young teacher figure out how to not be afraid and take big chances. And they worked out for me. And I owe you. Thank you. Let me think of other ones. By the way, back then, also, I had a friend, Mark Lavaro, who was a teacher like me, and we started working together on projects. And he's, I think, still in Broward schools. And he was kind of like, he was like my buddy. Like, have a buddy system when you swim, like at summer camp or something. People don't even get to do that anymore, do they? Kids should be able to watch each other instead of have an adult watch them all the time. All of us helicopter parent, and some of us helicopter teacher. And I think that that's a mistake, man. Do you remember when we were kids, dude? You'd like eat dirt, you'd eat mud pies, and you'd fall and you'd get hurt. That's how we learn. If we protect people from failure, we protect them from progress. We protect them from learning. We protect them from moving forward. This is what I'm about. It's not, the only reason that I loved, I don't want to get into that. The only reason I'm a teacher is because I just wanted to talk to kids and say, you're all right. You can figure it out. Trust yourself. And what I'm noticing now that Brain Buffet really I've had to make the shift and recognize that I'm serving teachers now more than students. This microphone is killing me, driving me crazy. It keeps sinking. But now I'm finding that there's a lot of teachers, right, that are the same way. We're scared to move forward on our own as adults. Like, I literally just worked through some mom and dad stuff from being like a little kid. crying in my therapist's office about how my dad was so mad about those stickers that I cut for his wheels on his Cadillac in the '70s. Like, what? What? That's been in there affecting me, the way that I view the world all this time? Can't believe I just said all this out loud. Oh my god, and then then somebody popped in. I was thinking, maybe nobody's seeing this and will save me from the shame, but maybe the point is to face our shame. Maybe the point is to take a big effing chance and see what happens. We don't make progress if we're not taking a chance. There is no way. I was thinking about the other day, perfection is is death. It's perfect stillness. It's like the death of the universe. Everything's freezing cold. There's no heat because heat makes atoms move. There's no movement. There's no nothing. It's perfect death. That's how we envision perfection. What if perfection is a big sloppy mess? What if it's a clumsy dance? And what if all we have to do is just learn to like make our own moves, feel our own experience, not be so afraid of failing so that we can try something and bring our unique perspective and gift to the world. Because as long as we're following somebody else's directions, we are not making our own contribution. And there are personality types where your contribution is to find a way to work very efficiently according to existing rules and then to be a model of that. And that's important and valid too. And I have a lot of that. All of us have a lot of that as well. It's all paradoxical, right? That's my core uh, conviction about reality itself is that it is all paradoxical. If you're seeing one side of the argument, you are wrong. You've got half the truth. When you can see both sides of the argument, it's like a yin and yang thing, right? When you can see both sides of the argument, when you can see your student's perspective as well as your own, the mad student, the disengaged student, when you can see their perspective as well as your own, that hey, this is important, you should learn this. Guess what? The kids know that most of the time they don't need to learn it. I have not done a quadratic equation since middle school when I did my first quadratic equation. So why was that so important? I stink at math. Why was that so important? In my class, I recognize that my class for a lot of students was completely unimportant. And that's what the Brainbuffet was all about. Well, I put everything out there for the kids. And it's like, guys, what do you want to learn? Like, what are you most curious about? Look at all this cool stuff. And kids would call me out, oh my word, and embarrass me. And, I'll tell you guys the Jesse Valinsky story. Help me remember that. Somebody email me that I got to do a video on the Jesse Valinsky story because I was challenged by a student directly right in my face in front of everybody, super embarrassed. And I just had to wing it the next day. And that changed everything for the better. This is the hero's journey. You fight the dragon. Somebody else who taught me all about this is Mike Scotchgo. He is a teacher who he's in California. He's a very good friend. He's exceptionally insightful about how our minds work and really, really insightful into art and design and how we can use design to sort of gently nudge or guide the mind into a direction and just the joy of exploring it as well. Kevin McMahon also is another huge hero of mine from Art Heroes, who, we always recommend their stuff. If you've seen us live, you know that I'm a big fan of Kevin, and I keep begging him to work for us and produce stuff for us, and I haven't been able to afford him in the past, and I hope, we're doing better as a company, and I hope that we can afford Kevin. And we're looking for partners, but we need partners who are willing to break the rules. Because not the rules, I take that back. We want partners who are interested in discovering new paths and not falling into the same old ruts. I don't want somebody with a professional presentation. I want somebody with an engaging presentation mind. I want somebody who doesn't try and get kids to line up and grow up and be adults. I want somebody that helps kids know it is valuable to be a kid. You've got to have these fights. You've got to be frustrated with the constraints of conformity. You've got to bust out of that a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to be a full-grown adult that doesn't know what you're doing. And one of my favorite guys his name is Richard Rohr. I'm a huge fan. He's this Catholic, kind of weird Catholic dude. I think he'd take that as a compliment. I intend it as such. But he always says that progress comes from great love or great suffering. And it's almost always great suffering. That's how we move. This coronavirus thing is uncomfortable. This pandemic, locking down, doing school differently, all of this is just a little bit challenging, but we don't have to be afraid of it. This is the hero's journey. This is our dragon right now. If we fight this dragon, we can win. We can bring peace, right? We can let go of the control of the ring and throw it back into the fire. It doesn't have to control us. We don't have to worry about the big eye in the sky. Because once we let go of the ring, the thing that pulls us towards that eye in the sky, then we're free from the eye in the sky as well. Just this morning, I called the team and I'm like, we've got a whole new web team that takes care of all that because that's a weakness of mine. I'm just anxious even thinking about it because I've got control issues like all of us do, right? But my greatest successes came from my greatest failures, or not my greatest failures, from my places where I was out of control and I just let go and I just winged it. That's every single win. Every single win is confidence and also no freaking idea how to move forward. That's the perfect combo. They feel like opposites, but they're the same thing. I'm stuck. Okay, so I don't understand how to best help you guys. And I'm trying to figure it out, but I need your input. I'm realizing that the way that I work is I have to bounce ideas off people. I need input and I need perspectives and like, man, this is really tough. I don't think there's a way to do this. And we just bat it around. Because maybe you're right. Maybe there's no way to do that. And you know what that always means? You're not supposed to do it. If there's no way to do it, you're not supposed to do it. Or there's no way to make kids pay attention. Yeah, right. So stop trying. Don't try to make them pay attention. Make something that they want to pay attention to. Don't give them answers. Don't give them a path to follow. Don't make them excellent copycats. Force them into uncomfortable situations. Allow them to force you into uncomfortable situations. Like Jesse Valinsky. I would love to get him on a video and just tell that story. I wonder if I don't know that I'm even remembering the story right. I just know how I felt. And I know how I dream / have nightmares about, about that experience. This is a time for us to shine. This is a time you can't do school, you can't do education the way you used to. With the walls of this classroom holding them in, with the desks holding them down. You now, as an educator, have to be creative and inspiring and caring enough to make the kids pay attention to you when you can't even see them. Make them want to see you. How do you do that? There are ways. And the first step is to be a little bit humble. Beautifully, wonderfully, graciously humble. And I don't mean self-deprecating. I mean just humble. Just, look, I don't have it all figured out, guys. This is how I do it. What do you guys think? Anyone got a better way? Anyone find a shortcut? Can anyone cheat? I always did it in those subversive, teenage terms. Can we cheat? Is there a way to get around this? Right? You always present, and that's fun. It's fun. It's fun to solve a problem. It's a puzzle. It seems like they're saying we have to do it this way, step 1, 2, 3, and 4. You guys think there's a better way? Anyone finds a better way, I give you extra credit. Automatic A if you figure out a better way than what I'm showing you. My decision whether it's better or not. Let the kids join with you. There's no way. Let's face it, if it were a physical fight, those 30 kids staring at you would take you down. The same is true intellectually. The same is true emotionally. The same is true positionally. Well, I'm the teacher. They should listen to me. Well, I'm the parent. They should listen to me. Oh, that works with teenagers. There's a better way where we work together with the kids and we all learn together. And it's beautiful. It is so much fun. This is the only thing I like to do. I liked my classroom because with creativity, with the Adobe products, there was no right answer. There's a million ways to do it. And I found that invigorating because I learned every day. I had kids show me wrong. I had kids find better solutions. That's wonderful to be shown up by a kid. Do you know how good of a teacher you have to be to teach a kid how to do something, then they do it better than you? My job is to teach, not to be the world's best, to make them the world's best. I can't do that if I keep saying, don't try anything, do it my way. Then I am the limit. I should not be the limit of the kids, how high they should jump. I should be the base from which they start and they can start going higher. That was well said, by the way. See, I can only think about this stuff when I'm like on stage or in front of the classroom or in front of a camera. I need this pressure because when I'm given time to sit and think about it and to plan, I don't move. I'm paralyzed with the fear of failure. And I get that that's scary. But the kids are going to face things in their lives that we don't know anything about. Like, seriously, like, can you imagine? I'm 50, right? Can you imagine somebody in my middle school going, oh, yeah, I'm going to be a web page designer? She's like, what? Oh, well, no, I'm a digital designer. A what? I'm going to design cell phone technologies. What kind of technologies? None of these things even existed. So how could my school have prepared me for the careers that are the best paying careers, the most exciting, engaging, like thought-oriented careers, if I taught them to just shut up and follow directions instead of, here's a couple strategies on how to think. Now go that direction real fast. So friends that inspired me in the Adobe program, I just want to thank Kevin McMahon. I want to thank Mike Scotchgo. Both of them helped me see art better, and life and philosophy and that stuff that I like so much better. I've had so many teachers that I met through the company, through Brainbuffet, that are customers. I'm not seeing a name that I happen to recognize here because it looks like they're kind of cute little internet nicknames. But I have so many of you guys that really inspire me. Scott, what's your last name? Scott in Oklahoma. You inspire me, man. Aaron, you really inspire me. Jessica, you inspire me. John Gordon. God, there was a guy that was a teacher when I first started, and now he's like the mayor of Fort Lauderdale or something. Had an odd name. He inspired me. I already mentioned Lavaro. Scott, who's at McPhatter now. He inspires me. A lot of my TSA friends, they inspired me. I just kind of dishes are done. Isn't this great? See, that's the thing that like teachers will get worried about. They're like, oh, I got to edit that out. What if we just showed kids how to be engaged with our thoughts when they were just living their lives? What if we don't get distracted by the little things? What if we focus on the big things? What if that's what the classroom should be about? Your curriculum is teaching kids how to be autonomous adults who can think on their own without direction, and you simply present design based challenges or math based challenges or language based challenges, not answers, examples. Oh, look at how Mark Twain solved the problem of communication, getting something across, getting over the emotional, social hurdles of communicating a message of change. Did it in a pretty fun way. It's pretty interesting. Bring up a YouTube channel. Why in English classes aren't we bringing up YouTube channel and talking about the way that people communicate and how it engages late night TV guys, Colbert and Seth Meyers. Why don't we bring those examples up? That's the new world. Newspapers, books. Come on. I got rid of every single book. I love books, but I do audiobooks now. So is reading really all that important? I just wanted the knowledge. Being able to digest knowledge in any form is an important skill. So I want to thank all teachers, because our job is tough. A teacher's job is tough. Students, really, it is. Trust me. This mic stand is driving me crazy. It's new and it looks great, but there's not enough tension on it or something. I apologize. I'm distracted with that. Look, watch. Look, I'm doing it. I'm making it move. That was really frustrating, and then it became fun. That's all we got to do. Learn to go with the flow. Your kids bring a flow every period. You know how second period's so different from fifth period? That's because those kids are all bringing in a flow. Oh my gosh, this is really driving me crazy now. I might have a solution here. I am making a weird, janky solution to my problem. This is problem solving in action. Boom. Let's see if that stays. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. I will fix this. But these kind of chats, I want to have them more often. I want us to just talk about what it means to be a teacher. What does it mean to be somebody who's given literally hours and hours and hours of other people's children's time to help those kids figure out how to live in the future that they're going to live in, to live in the world that our kids are going to grow up in, our grandkids, all of our friends' kids. So how do we help those kids create a world that's like one that's really cool for our kids to live in? Because that's what we got to do, is pay it forward. So think about your heroes. Some of you guys are some of my heroes. Thank you. And how do we come together now to figure all this out? And I want to make sure that I always keep these 30 minutes. And I want to do these every day. I'm scared to death to do this stuff. I can see that there's 3 people here. A couple of people commented. And, when I see the number drop down, I'm just like, oh my God, I offended somebody. I should be careful. No, I should not be careful. I should start to be bold. And there are people that when you're bold will not follow that. And we need to learn how to get there. Your principal doesn't understand admin, the district. Be bold anyway. It works out. Trust me. You might get fired, but trust me, it would work out. You might have this real tension on campus. It'll work out. Trust me. Trust me. Take a chance. Take a risk. Love the kids. Love the search for truth, and it all works out. Let's have these conversations. I want to have this every day, every weekday. We'll have a teacher chat, and then we can try and do something with kids. Send in questions, Thank you very much. Whoever's saying doing good, Deliga. I hope I said that properly. But 30 minutes, that's my time. I really do want to limit these, but let's work together. All right. Peace out. I love you guys. Love your students. Right. We got to we're all in this together, whether we want to be or not. So please leave comments about questions you have that you'd like me to address or perspectives. You're like, man, I never kind of figured this out. And maybe I'll come on and just go, hey, somebody had this great question. I don't have it figured out either. Maybe we can get online together, chat about it, and then do a live thing with both of us talking. I don't know. I just know that I can't think without having challenges. So this channel is about me throwing out crazy ideas that you guys can push back against, and we can start figuring it out. All right. Peace, everybody. I love you guys. Check us out at brainbuffet.com. If you're a design teacher, we have, or if you're just interested in learning Adobe products and Microsoft products, we've got some curriculum. You can get a free trial. And if you're a school in particular, our stuff is just made 100% directed at kids and fun, creative teachers who love kids. That's our market. That's what we're doing. So, and I think that we're unique in that space. So if you're curious about that, please go and get a free subscription and just try us out. Just check us out and see if it's good for you. But let's do this together. All right. Peace, guys. I love you. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye. I'll get better at this streaming thing soon.